So, your tax dollars are currently being used to gaslight you into believing that the thing you watched happen on live television 5 years ago never happened, and the man responsible for it is now using the official power of the federal government to publish conspiracy theories already debunked by his own attorney general, his own vice president, and even his own private admissions. On January 22nd, 2026, Special Counsel Jack Smith testified before the House Judiciary Committee, and what he revealed about the current state of the Trump White House is, honestly, it's dystopian. Representative Hank Johnson questioned Smith about a new taxpayer-funded page on the White House website that explicitly claims the 2020 election was stolen and alleges the FBI entrapped protesters on January 6th. What makes this exchange so important is Jack Smith's on-the-record confirmation that Donald Trump knew he was lying the entire time. Let's watch the video, and I will give you my take on it later at the end.
On January 6, 2026, the 5th anniversary of the insurrection, the White House launched a taxpayer-funded website that attempts to rewrite history about what happened on that day of infamy. On January 6, 2021, there was an insurrection at the United States Capitol that resulted in a police officer dying the next day, another 4 officers dying by suicide in the months thereafter, with at least 140 police officers being injured by the insurrectionists, with 15 of them requiring hospitalization. And I'm proud that we have 4 former officers as well as on-duty Capitol Hill police officers here today. Mr. Smith, I want to ask you about this website because the Trump administration is using taxpayer dollars to lie to the American people about the events leading up to and the events taking place on January 6, 2021. For example, this Trump propaganda site claims that the 2020 election was, quote, stolen. Mr. Smith, did your investigation uncover evidence sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump knew that his claim that the election was stolen was false?
Yes, it did.
And did your investigation uncover evidence sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Donald Trump publicly claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him while he privately acknowledged that he had lost the election?
Yes, we cited instances of that during in our case.
But yet here we see that on the 5th anniversary of the insurrection, the Trump White House propaganda machine is still promoting the stolen election theory on this government webpage with a text box titled, quote, fraudulent election, stolen election certified, end quote. The site also has a subsection reading in part, quote, FBI entrapment operation exposed. Mr. Smith, did your investigation develop any evidence to support the allegation that the FBI entrapped insurrectionists into committing crimes on January 6th?
Our investigation revealed that Donald Trump is the person who caused January 6th, that it was foreseeable to him, and that he sought to exploit the violence.
This website also accuses you of being a, quote, Biden prosecutor who brought, quote, weaponized charges against Mr. Trump. Mr. Smith, were you a Biden prosecutor who weaponized the Department of Justice against Donald Trump?
Absolutely not.
Did Attorney General Merrick Garland direct you to prosecute Trump because Donald Trump was running against Joe Biden in the presidential election?
No.
There are also allegations that President Trump was the victim of, quote, lawfare, and accusations that the Department of Justice lawyers who prosecuted Donald Trump used, quote, fabricated indictments and rigged show trials. Did you, Mr. Smith, or the men and women working on your team work to fabricate indictments or put on rigged show trials?
No, we secured indictments from grand juries, and we were prepared to prove our case in court beyond a reasonable doubt.
Did you use your appointment as special counsel to conduct a politically motivated witch hunt scam investigation and prosecution of Donald Trump?
I did not. We followed the facts and we followed the law. Where that led us was to an indictment of an unprecedented criminal scheme to block the peaceful transfer of power.
And those indictments have been dismissed. Can they be rebrought or resurrected after Trump leaves office?
They were dismissed without prejudice.
So they can be refiled? And he can be prosecuted after he leaves office, is that correct?
I'm not going to speak to that. I can only speak to what we did, which was dismiss the case without prejudice.
All right. The website put out by the Trump White House on the anniversary of January 6th is nothing more than a pack of lies. It proves that Donald Trump is hell-bent on misusing taxpayer dollars in a feeble attempt to rewrite his criminal history and the history of what happened on January 6, 2021. And with that, I yield back, but I would like to, Mr. Chairman, offer for the record
unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent. A statement from Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency released on November 12, 2020 that states the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history.
Objection.
And also testimony from, I would like to request unanimous consent to enter into the record the September 24th, 2020 testimony of Trump's former FBI Director, Chris Wray, who told Senate Homeland Security, the Homeland Security Committee of the Senate, that the FBI had, quote, not seen or historically had any kind of coordinated national voter fraud effort in a major election.
Without objection.
And last but not least, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record this article titled, Disputing Trump, Barr Says No Widespread Election Fraud.
Without objection. The gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Texas.
I want to validate the feeling you probably have right now. That mix of exhaustion and disbelief that we are still debating the reality of something we all witnessed. And, I mean, it feels like gaslighting because it matches the definition perfectly. And beyond the emotional whiplash, 3 critical pieces of information come out of this exchange. The clip moves quickly, and the implications move even faster, which is, yeah, kind of terrifying. First, the private acknowledgement Jack Smith referenced. Smith confirmed under oath that his investigation found proof Trump knew he lost. And the October 2024 evidence filing 165 pages shows exactly what those acknowledgments looked like. According to that filing, Trump told family members, "It doesn't matter if I won or lost. I have to fight like hell." He told campaign advisors who debunked his fraud claims, the details don't matter. So when the White House website claims the election was stolen, treat it as deliberate deception, directly contradicted by Trump's private words. And yeah, I know. It's almost too blatant. Second, the legal mechanism of dismissed without prejudice. You heard Smith say it, and the meaning matters. Like, not law school trivia matters. This actually matters. A case dismissed with prejudice stays dead forever. A case dismissed without prejudice remains eligible for refiling once the condition that caused the dismissal changes. In this case, that condition is the presidency itself, which creates this looming legal threat over the entire administration. The case just sits there, dormant, waiting for the moment Trump loses presidential immunity. And that distinction explains the urgency behind rewriting the story now. The administration benefits from shaping public memory and shaping future jury pools in advance of a trial that could return the moment Trump leaves office. And I'm not saying that to be dramatic. It's just the obvious incentive structure here. Third, the appropriations issue an angle that barely gets attention, even though it hits at the core of governance. The Hatch Act and federal appropriations laws generally prohibit the use of official government resources for partisan political activity. And by hosting what Representative Johnson calls Trump propaganda about a stolen election on a .gov domain, the White House may be crossing into misuse of appropriated funds. This money comes from your paycheck. Your taxes fund the server maintenance. Your taxes fund the platform. Your taxes fund the infrastructure supporting content designed to portray federal law enforcement, the FBI, specifically as the enemy of the people. It's like hiring a bodyguard and paying him to punch himself in the face, which I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's literally what this is. The strategy is straightforward. When facts collapse and the legal case fails, the institution becomes the tool used to legitimize the lie. They are betting that the presence of the White House seal at the top of a page will blur the public's memory of what actually happened, despite the reality that dozens of court rulings, state officials across the country, and Trump's own attorney general concluded the fraud claims had no basis. So when you talk to your friends about this, use clear language. And honestly, don't let people hand wave it away. Special Counsel Jack Smith testified under oath that Donald Trump privately admitted he lost, publicly claimed he won to inflame a violent movement, and is now using taxpayer resources to cover his tracks. So what does this mean for us? On a personal level, it means you are subsidizing your own deception. Every time you pay taxes, a fraction goes toward maintaining a government platform designed to push a narrative where the FBI becomes the villain. It's the ultimate stop hitting yourself move executed through public infrastructure. It means truth has stopped functioning as a baseline for governance. It becomes an obstacle that can be edited out with a few lines of code on an official server. Institutionally, the stakes are existential. When the executive branch uses official channels to accuse its own Department of Justice of rigged show trials and claims entrapment by federal agencies, the rule of law begins to dissolve. When a president frames the FBI as an illegitimate institution trapping citizens, enforcement of federal law becomes a political act instead of a civic function. Democracy's immune system starts attacking its own vital organs. And for what? That question matters. And I mean, seriously, what is the point of all this? Is this about improving the economy? No. Is this about securing the border? No. Is this about lowering healthcare costs? No. This is entirely 100% about soothing the bruised ego of one man who cannot psychologically accept losing a popularity contest in 2020. The credibility of the Department of Justice and the electoral system gets dismantled so one man avoids admitting defeat. And to underline the absurdity of the stolen election narrative, remember this. The rejection came from Trump's own side too. Even Bill Barr, the man who arguably shielded Trump more aggressively than anyone else in government, reached a limit. And when someone who operated like a legal firewall for Trump steps away from the lie has already collapsed. Or, I mean, it should have. Here is where we stand. A special counsel confirmed that the President of the United States served as the proximate cause of an attack on the Capitol. The indictments tied to those crimes remain dormant rather than erased. And an administration desperate to avoid accountability has turned the White House website into a conspiracy blog. This goes far beyond a website. The 2020 election has become a vehicle for something larger. The real question is whether facts still matter inside a democracy. Because when the person in charge can rewrite the official record to erase his own crimes, accountability collapses and reality becomes optional. Jack Smith said it clearly. Donald Trump caused the violence. He exploited the violence. And now, quite literally, he is making you pay for the violence. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please like the video and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.